Well, hey everybody, this show made possible by H&H Color Lab, quite possibly the best color lab on the face of the planet, in our opinion.
I think so.
Learn more at hhcolorlab.com.
Coming up on today's show, what does baseball and being a studio owner have in common? As well as we're going to take on a short, quick tour of the studio.
A little behind the scenes, if you will, where all the magic happens. We'll have another marathon marketing moment, which is actually going to feature one of the oldest marketing pieces that we still use today, and it's probably more effective than it ever has been. And we'll also take your questions with our Ask a Hudson segment.
This is the show where serious photographic entrepreneurs learn how to profit from their passion.
All right, everybody, welcome to today's episode, and apparently it's Casual Friday or Laundry Day with this guy.
What?
Not really sure what the jersey's all about.
Hey, I'm a Mariners fan.
I know, but we're trying to be professional for these people.
Well, hey, what does baseball and being a studio owner have in common? That's what I want to talk about.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Makes sense now.
I mean, Mariners, this year they kind of suck, but I still love them. And, one of the things that professional sports, they all specialize. I mean, everybody on the field, when you think about it, could probably play any position, but they specialize in, a catcher or outfield or designated hitter or whatever, right? And that's kind of the way of, I think, a lot of businesses, and especially studio owners. And one thing I learned a long time ago is that I'm not good at everything. I have a little confession to make. I don't really know Photoshop. And I'm kind of glad I don't like Photoshop because I'm kind of a tweaker. I like to tweak things, and I keep tweaking and tweaking. And with Photoshop, as you know, you can tweak to 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I find it better for me in our business to do two things. One is be the photographer, and number two, be the salesperson. And that's what I'm best at. Josh, what do you think you're best at?
Well, I'm very organized, very business-oriented, numbers-oriented.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And all the photographers out there watching this are absolutely going to hate you now if they, find out that you have this boy behind the scenes, as they like to call me. But it's true. My father we are most profitable in our business when my dad is shooting and when my dad is selling. Having him try to go through and handle all the social media accounts for marketing, have him try to produce the e-newsletter that we send out to about 5,000 clients every month. Having him do that kind of stuff, having him sit in front of the email account and interact with clients and book consultations and do all that kind of stuff, it would take him 10 times longer to do it than it does for me.
20 times.
20 times, okay. He's a plunker. He's not a typer, he's a plunker. So I guess your analogy really makes sense, Dad, because you figure you have a team, right? And you're right. Somebody who's a professional pitcher at some point in their career had to know how to bat, whether it was college, high school. And most of these professional baseball players are just good athletes all around. But each one kind of specializes in a different thing, and it's up to the coach to put that person in where they're going to have the biggest impact. And so as a studio owner, whether you have employees or you don't, and I think a lot of studio owners don't have employees, you're just a one-person, one-man band, or maybe your wife or your husband helps you out, something like that. And really what you have to do is you have to go, okay, I'm best at the photography side of things, and I'm best at the post-production. I hate sales, I suck at it. I hate marketing, I suck at it. I don't want to have to interact with clients more than I want to, or more than I have to. That's really when you need to start looking at, well, maybe I need to hire someone to come into my business, maybe a partner, to do the sales for me, or to do the marketing, or to schedule the appointments, something like that. Or maybe you're really good at the business side of it and you're not that great at the image creation. Well, maybe you're more of a manager and maybe you need to hire photographers below you to go out and photograph the events for you. I mean, you can kind of see where we're going with this a little bit, people.
Yeah, and the reality is, if we had unlimited funds, you could hire all these different specialists. But in this, economy, and we went from 6 employees to myself and Josh being a contract employee, as well as Amy, who does all our retouching and graphic design. is a contract employee. So we've made a big adjustment. We've done a lot of right sizing the last couple of years that has really made us profitable again. But I think one of the things that I really want to stress is once you get to the point where you can hire somebody, maybe as a contract employee, or outsource to your lab to do the retouching or whatever, do it. Because, really take the time to look and see what you are the best at and what, is going to help your studio become the most profitable at, and go that direction. I think that's a really good goal, is to get to the point where you can start outsourcing some of the other things.
Absolutely, and that goes for pretty much anything and everything. I mean, there's companies that will do album design for you. We use companies like Animoto to produce slideshows. I mean, you upload images, you hit go, and in 2 minutes I got a slideshow. I'm not sitting there, till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, dinking around and trying to tweak stuff. You really have to position yourself with not just vendors, we don't like to call them vendors, but with partners in your business. I mean, that's why we're big fans of H&H Color Lab, big fans of Marathon Press. They're not vendors to us, they are partners. They enhance our business, they make us more money. And that's really the way it should be. So, it's a good analogy you had there, Deb, with baseball.
Yeah, so go Mariners. So with this marathon marketing moment, we want to talk about something that we've been doing for a long time, and that's creating newsletters for our clients. We're big believers in relationship marketing, and that's definitely where newsletters fall into place. And we use Marathon Press. We've used them for 25 years, and it's an amazing company. And one of the reasons why we like using them is because they have world-class designers. They really do. So let's just give a quick overview of the newsletter and how we put it together very quickly.
Sure. Basically, we send it out usually twice a year, spring and in the winter time, as my dad, lovely Vanna White over here, is showing you. It's 4-color. It is 4 pages. Was that 8.5 by 11 is the size typically?
No, 11/17.
11/17 when it's opened all the way, as you can see. We have been doing this for so long that we can piece these suckers together fairly quickly, within a few hours. Basically, write a couple of stories. The type of stories that we do, this one is some thoughts from your family photographer, sort of reflecting on our 30th anniversary. We also had a promotion time for an update where you could update your existing wall portrait and save 30%, sort of based on the 30th anniversary. Talk about the new style of senior portraits that we're doing. We always do a Hudson Grandkids update. Now, when I was growing up, this was a Hudson Kids update. So it's a segment that we've carried on. And then we also, upcoming events and talking about like a Alaska photo expedition that we're doing. And it's a great way just to feature our clients too. Featured portraits. This is the Lowe family, photographed them in Bend, Oregon last summer. Amazing stuff. They ended up investing in one of those cool new clusters that we get from H&H Color Lab. Spent some big bucks. And it's when we talk about sort of kind of outsourcing things a little bit and not always doing things yourself, as much as you think you are not a graphic designer, okay? You may be really good at Photoshop, but you are not a graphic designer. We do not put this together. We send the content to Marathon and we say, please put this together in a newsletter and make it look pretty for us. And they do it. They'll even mail it for us if we don't want to do the bulk mail ourselves, guys. Very economical, world-class designers. This sucker has worked for many, many, many years.
Yeah, and actually we got to give credit where credit is due. Your mom, Sue, was a phenomenal writer. She would write as if she's just sitting right across from you. And I try to write in her style. Josh definitely can write in her style because he got her organizational and writing genes. But I got to tell you that, spend the time wisely doing what makes you profitable. And sitting down and trying to, with Illustrator or whatever program you have to put out a newsletter, it's not worth it. So it's one of those things that unfortunately with the economy, when it did take a dip, we went from doing it 4 times a year to now we're doing it about 2 times a year, and kind of beefing up the email marketing those other months. But I guess bottom line, guys, is make sure that no matter what it is you're doing in your marketing, outsource as much as you can, because number one, it's going to save you time and energy. Number two, it's going to look a lot more professional.
Yeah, and we were actually at a BNI, Business Networking International event this morning. My dad was given an 8-minute presentation, and I handed out newsletters to everybody. And I mean, these are heavy-hitting, like financial planners. I mean, people that make a lot of money. My dad's BNI group, they're up to $1.6 million in referral revenue generated. And we have one more month to go until their year end.
That's 43 members, I think we have.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And everybody's sitting there going, you guys send this to your clients? It looks so professional. What a concept, right? And I do have to, and I know this segment's going a little long, but every time we send this thing out, I mean, we have gotten call after call after call this summer with clients who we haven't seen in 5, 7, 10, even 15 years who still get our newsletter. We may not be photographing them every year, but they are still hearing from us. Mm-hmm. And when they're ready to invest the type of money that people invest when they come to our studio, they're ready to pull the trigger, and it's getting stuff like this every year from us. So think about it.
Oh, and for all you Daily Dose members, we will put a PDF of this actual newsletter up on the Daily Dose area. So be watching for that, okay?
And for those of you who are not Daily Dose members, go to mystudiomentor.com, click on Your Daily Dose at the top, and learn more about our little membership program that we have. We're always throwing out, in fact, I might even post a newsletter writing guide for you people out there that want to maybe get started on this. So, you Daily Dose people, go check it out. And for those of you out there, we want to hear from you. If you're using newsletters, if they're working for you, go to mystudiomentor.com and comment below this video, and we'll get back to you.
So welcome to our studio, and for the past couple years we've been at the Tukwila Commerce Center, which is actually an office park. And to give you a little history, we started in our home over 30 years ago. We were in a strip mall for about 5 years. The last 24 years we were in a commercial building. That was probably at the height of our business with 6 employees and super busy there. But like I said, last 2 years we've been here, done some right sizing, and so let's take you on a little tour of the studio.
My dad made a great point talking about kind of right sizing or downsizing the business a little bit. And one of the reasons why we chose the Tukwila Commerce Center here, proximity to the interstate, right by the major mall, and also there's just a ton of different types of businesses in here. And it really kind of, it fits our needs really well for the time being. And it's, looking at things kind of from a business standpoint, we cut our overhead by 2/3 by getting out of our commercial building that we had for about 24 years, which my dad will kind of get into the history of us a little bit in this segment. But we're paying less in rent than we were paying monthly in property taxes. So, with the way the economy's been the last few years, it was nice. And we're definitely in the profit, definitely in the money. So let's keep going, and we'll kind of take you through the parking lot. And that's actually us right over there. So welcome to our little spot here. As you can we're not really like a retail studio. Don't really get a ton of walk-ins here, which is great, although we are very close. And every once in a while, we'll have someone that pops their head in, maybe saw us online and it's down here by the mall and Google Maps us or something like that. But been very happy here. 2 years. The thing that I think really that we love the most about this is our clients' reaction. Our old building, we were there for 24 years. The building itself is about 50 years old. And we were in need of a major remodel. So things were kind of getting a little tired looking, if you know what I mean. Purple couches, all that kind of stuff. So when we moved down here, we really saw a spike in sales, about 20 to 30% that first season we were down here. And our clients, I think, just being in a newer environment with modern colors and new furniture and all that kind of stuff really made a difference. And a lot of photographers always ask me, what's one thing I can do to separate myself? Well, with 99% of photographers working out of their home, if you actually have a place of business that you can bring them to for consultations, bring them to for sales, trust me, it makes a big difference. So with that said, let's go inside.
Well, welcome to our lobby. This is a lot smaller than our last lobby, but it fits the purpose very well. Our entire space is about 1,500 square feet. Half of it is office space. The other half is what they call flex space. And some of the units here, they do manufacturing. Some are warehouses. There's a lot of different business here. But like Josh said, it's nice to have a place to call your own. I think the term that he was looking for was credibility. Rather than meeting at Starbucks, people come to a brick and mortar place, which I think gives you a lot more credibility. So it's just the level of credibility that you want to kind of deal with. And so one thing I do want to show you in the lobby here, you're seeing not a ton of portraits. You're seeing a 30 by 40. You're seeing a kind of a cluster here, and I believe that's a 36-inch print. One thing that we're going to be preaching week after week after week is you have to show what you want to sell. You can't just have a bunch of 5x7s, 8x10s, maybe the big 11x14 on there. No, we want to sell 30 by 40s, 40 by 50s, and that's what we show. So the only thing that you see smaller on the walls are the different degrees or awards, things like that we've gotten. So let's move into the consultation area.
All right, well, welcome to the consultation/projection room. As you can see, it's fully automated. Got our projection screen coming down. We're going to actually cover selling with projection. We're going to go through our whole projection sales room and consultation process in another episode. Kind of wanted to give you a brief overview today, but as you can see, you got the screen that came down. We always display what we want to sell. It's the number one rule, okay? You don't see giant CDs on the wall. You see beautifully framed portraits that are in the right size where they should be. We have, I believe this is a 24 by 24 square, which square prints have gotten very popular. These cluster wraps we get from H&H Color Lab. We designed this around that. These sconces that my dad put in over the couch. It's to mimic what it would look like in a client's home. Okay, so as we're sitting here in the sales room and my dad's going through everything and people are narrowing down their orders, they're actually seeing the portraits in their proper environment. And we actually go to their home for a final fitting, which we'll talk about in another segment. But we really try to make it homey. We want it to seem like a home. We got nice plush couches here. Of course, we're going to throw in some of my dad's awards. We have a nice cabinet with a bunch of awards. It's all about credibility, guys and gals, okay? And then on the other side of our projection room, we actually have kind of our frame wall. We do custom framing. It's something that most of our clients that purchase a wall portrait from us, about 80% of them also purchase a frame. It's a great way to keep that cash flow going even after the main sale's done. So we have all of our frames up here, also nice couch people can sit down. And typically when people are picking up their orders, this is where we're going to be doing it. That way we can look at frames, pull them off the wall, get that frame order going, after the sale. So it's just something we do as an added value, and also brings us a little more money. With that said, we're going to head back towards the actual studio part of our studio. So come on with me.
All right, we're coming back to the studio part now, and here's our little dressing room that we have. Just perfect size for mainly high school seniors that use it and stuff. Coming back in here, we have a lot of storage that we put in, and this is the actual studio part where, as you can see, for tomorrow we have a class. How many did you say? About 34, Josh? 34 in class. So we use this for in studio type portraits. We have the little area to bring down the backgrounds here. We have some areas, some tracks for various backgrounds as well. So this is a very multi-purpose area. This is also where we film Photo Entrepreneur TV as well. You can see the little background back here. But as of right now, we have it set up for our class tomorrow. So as I mentioned, this is a very multi-purpose room. And one of the reasons for that is most of what we do is on location. We do babies here. We do some, high school seniors, but it's very rare that we're going to do a family type portrait in a studio situation. I just learned years and years ago, at least for my model, that my clients are going to spend probably 3 to 4 times more if it's on their turf, on their location, rather than inside my studio. So that's kind of my whole style has been based on location portraits. With that, hope you enjoyed a little tour, and in upcoming segments we'll be talking about a lot of different things, how we set up the back studio here as well as the projection sales room, and we'll go into a little more detail. But for now, hope you enjoyed it.
Today's question comes from Denise Jane from Virginia. Hi, Denise. How's it going?
Hi, Denise.
She says, "Hey, West Coast family. That's us. She actually photographed my wedding. She's a good friend and a follower of the show, so she knows what she's doing. Hey, West Coast family. All right, I'm getting badgered by all of my clients wanting images on a disc. I don't want to sell images on a disc. I want to sell wall portraits. Huge fans of you guys. Is there something that I could do to add value, to just basically get them to stop pestering me for images on a disc? Yours truly, love, Denise. Oh, we love you too, Denise. It's the dreaded question. Can I get them on a disc? Every studio, no matter where you are, is dealing with this question, and we have a pretty simple answer. Anytime somebody comes into the studio and says, well, can I get all those on a disc? I simply ask them, well, how big a disc would you like? Or can I interest you in the multi-disc collection?
Oh, yeah.
Fits good in any space. Okay, I know, all kidding aside. Denise, what we have found is, every studio is different. In our last episode, you heard from Colin Miller, who is outside of St. Louis, very high-end studio, much like ourselves. And he kind of shared with you how he's actually giving digital files on a custom flash drive with a nice wood box. But you have to keep it in context, people, because that was a $13,000 sale. If you have a client that comes in and spends that kind of money and they say, hey, by the way, can I get digital copies of all those? What are you going to say? No, I'm sorry, you have not spent enough money with me. So you look at Colin's situation, and we've had that situation come up in the studio, and I got to tell you, 9 times out of 10, people just want them to share them on social media, or they have a family blog, or maybe they have a little digital frame at their office they want to put them on. For us, you need to pay us the respect by investing for something nice for your home. Once that respect is paid, once they've put their money where their mouth is, if they're just coming in and saying, well, I love them, but I just want them all on a disc, and here's $100, that should cover it. You don't respect me. You don't respect my time. We don't create JPEGs. We create original artwork. And that's the focus of our studio. And Denise, I know you're doing consultations. Mm-hmm. It needs to come up in the consultation more, and you need to be a little bit more direct, I think, of it. But a lot of times when people ask, you, Dad, in the consultation, saying, hey, do I get digital copies of this? Instead of just saying, oh, no, we don't do that, we simply say, well, what would you need them for? Well, I want to be able to share them on Facebook for my friends and families. Oh, that's awesome. You know what we actually do? Anything that you purchase a print of, anything that we take the time to have professionally retouched by Amy and you're going to invest in, for your home, yeah, we'll make those copies available for you, no problem. In fact, we'll even put them on Facebook for you and tag you. How's that sound? Oh, okay, well, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, 9 times out of 10, moving on. Also, sometimes we'll give a digital slideshow through Animoto. Clients can't pull the images off. The slideshow has a good amount of perceived value. It's actually something that we do as a thank you for a lot of our clients. So if my dad's in the sales room and he's trying to close somebody out and he goes, gosh, we just love all 20 of these, and yeah, we're going to get the wall portrait of this one, we're going to get some small ones of this, but I don't know if I want to print to this one, but I still like it. That's real easy for my dad to say, well, you know what, I'll have Josh go ahead and make a digital slideshow for you. You can put it on your iPad, put it on your iPhone, share it on Facebook. That way your friends can see a whole wide array of images. How's that sound? And people go, okay, cool, yeah, whatever.
It's really all about attitude
a
lot of times. And I'm just going to jump in. I know we're running late on this segment as well. But Josh really hit it on the head. It's about respect. The only time we've really come into any problems in, say, the past 2 or 3 years, it's when we broke our own rules and we didn't do the consultation. And we'll probably get into that maybe on a future episode on why not to do that. But that's usually when we get into trouble, is when people don't come in, they don't see the prices ahead of time. It's very rare, but it has happened to us. It really has. So attitude, respect. And also, it's just a case-by-case basis. What is your level of comfort? Is it, if they invest in $500 or $1,000, or in the case of Colin, $13,000? He had no problem letting them use those images. I really think the type of client that you want to cater to are the people that do respect the fact that you are trying to make a living.
Exactly. And for those of you out there who have maybe had this happen in your business, we'd love to hear from you.
You bet.
So go to mystudiomentor.com, click on this video and comment below, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want one of your questions featured on the air, Click on the Ask a Hudson button at mystudiomentor.com, submit your question, and you might get it answered on the air just like Denise.
All right, so the quick takeaway for this show, and quick because we've kind of gone over each time there's a segment, sorry about that, we kind of get into it. But the takeaway that I see is, do what you do best and outsource the rest. Mm-hmm. How do you like that?
I like that. Although outsourcing is kind of that like taboo, we don't want to outsource, but you really need to. He's been in business for 31 years successfully. He knows what he's talking about. So on behalf of myself and my dad, Bruce, thanks for watching this episode of Photo Entrepreneur TV, the place where serious photographic entrepreneurs learn to profit from their passion.